Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Good Molecules Hyaluronic Acid Serum, which you can use on all skin types, and you can use it daily in the morning and or evening on its own or along with any other skincare products. And I mean it, because this primarily helps to hydrate the skin. It works as a skin repairing ingredient, and it can give you a temporary plumping effect. So this does also mean that it's completely fine to use it in the same routine as your exfoliating acid products. This is a question that I often get. So hyaluronic acid does not exfoliate the skin, therefore you can use them in the same routine. And at first I would like to go over a little example routine, what it can look like, how the setup would be, and then later on I want to share with you an example evening skincare routine. You can see the setup right here. Now, when it comes to a morning skincare routine, first of all, get started with washing your face. So this can be done with your regular liquid cleanser or maybe one of the bath soaps that, for example, Good Molecules offers. Make sure that it's suitable for your skin type to remove any excess oil, dirt and sweat from the skin. Then if you have a toner at home, this would be the next step after cleansing. So again, with my example, brightening toner from Good Molecules would help to brighten the skin. Then after that, you can add hydration and the temporary plumping effect to it with your hyaluronic acid serum. And then lastly, you're going to protect the skin with a good sunscreen from the damaging UV rays. So if you're concerned about your fine lines and wrinkles, maybe discoloration, and in general, you want to keep your skin as youthful as possible and not getting into troubles, sun protection during daytime is really the key. Then when it comes to an evening skincare routine, you can keep it similar to the morning skincare routine, except that you would exchange your sunscreen step to maybe a moisturizer if you should feel the need. However, you can also combine it with an exfoliant. So once you have properly washed your face, which again can be done with your regular, in this case, non-exfoliating acid cleanser, that's suitable for your skin type, or you may want to do a double cleanse, like working with an oil or balm cleanser to remove your stubborn mineral sunscreen and or makeup from the skin, then this would be the first and most important step. So make sure that you can properly break everything down. And then you're heading into either your hydrating toner, maybe your brightening toner, or for example an exfoliating acid toner, which helps to let go of the dead skin cells. It will help to give your skin back some radiance, and it can help in reduction of fine lines and wrinkles and some hyperpigmentation. So this could be a great combination to use an exfoliating acid toner before applying your hyaluronic acid serum, and this can also give you a temporary glowing effect. So if you're looking into that, so to say, glow effect or glass skin, well then this would be the combination. And then after that, you can just leave it as it is, like just use your toner and then maybe hyaluronic acid serum on its own, or follow with a moisturizer afterwards if you should feel the need. Again, make sure that it's suitable for your skin type. And then this would be the last step in your evening skincare routine. And so those are the example routines that I have prepared for you. So if you want to recreate it at home, you may want to have a closer look into the products that I have picked. I have everything in my PowerPoint, not only the example routines, but also the products themselves, with a little description next to it about the oil and balm cleanser, the bath soaps, then even the toners, exfoliating acid toner, and also the hyaluronic acid serum, and lastly moisturizer and or sunscreen. So I have the entire setup in my PowerPoint. Same applies to general skincare tips, for example pilling. This is something that I often like to emphasize so that you will have the most comfortable layering experience. And then lastly, a more in-depth sunscreen guide, which does not only talk about the sunscreen itself, but also the application and how you can properly remove it. And I'm updating my PowerPoints from time to time, so if you haven't checked back into them, I recommend checking into them, because then you can get the most accurate information that I'm trying to keep up to date and provide to you. Now, if you want to go into this PowerPoint yourself, you maybe even want to download it, you will find the entire PowerPoint in the description box now and below. Now I want to keep my main focus towards the application. So again, we are going to go with the evening skincare routine, and I'm going to show you how you can combine it with your exfoliant so that you have an idea how this can work as well, so that you can see the entire process from the first step, which is the most important step, your cleansing step, to the last step, which may be your moisturizer if you should feel the need. So when it comes to the cleansing step, Right here, I'm going to go with one of Good Molecules bar of soaps. This is their Hydrate and Cleanse bar, which is great for all skin types. It's very hydrating and does the job properly to remove any excess oil, dirt, sweat from the skin, light, sunscreen and or makeup. Of course, as I've mentioned, if you're wearing something more stubborn than that, an oil or balm cleanser would be your best friend. Now, I'm going to get started with now properly washing my face. I'm doing this above the sink, but you can also wash your face in the shower if you're doing this anyway. It's just as fine, just go with what you prefer and your usual habits. Now, when it comes to the cleansing step, make sure, if you can, to use lukewarm water to warm water so that it feels comfortable on the skin and that you can properly later on remove the cleanser from the skin. When doing this above the sink, I like to work with a soft, clean microfiber washcloth. These are very soft and gentle on the skin. I like to wet them, squeeze them out, and then use them to help me to remove any last traces of cleanser, sunscreen and or makeup, especially when doing this above the sink, because you may not be able to get everything properly off the skin by just using your hands. So let's go ahead and get started. So, and now go ahead and take a clean towel and gently pat all over to remove the excess water from the skin surface. Please avoid applying your skincare products to wet skin. This also counts for your hyaluronic acid serum. There's no need to leave the skin wet and then move on to your hyaluronic acid serum. This just will create more troubles. So go ahead, take a clean towel and gently pat all over. Now, once you're done with your cleansing step and you have an hydrating, maybe brightening or exfoliating acid toner at home that you want to include, now would be the time to do so. Now, I'm going to keep my focus now towards an exfoliating acid toner, and in that sense, you can go ahead and now immediately move on to the application of your exfoliating acid toner. Or if you want to and have maybe a bit more of a sensitive skin, you can always wait 5 to 10 minutes between your cleansing step and the application of your exfoliating acid toner. This will help to dry the skin further, and then the product is going to absorb much slower into the skin, which can already reduce sensitivity. So test out both ways immediately after your cleansing step, or just do that waiting time in between and see what works the best for you. Now, when it comes to the exfoliating acid toner, I have picked the ordinary glycolic acid toner as an example. And so please keep in mind that when working with your exfoliating acid product in general, the frequency. So I have a general frequency guide in my PowerPoints, which basically states that you should start off by using it 2 to 3 times per week, and then either leave it as it is if that works well for you, or increase it slowly after several weeks so that you can see what your skin needs and how well your skin is going to tolerate that frequency. So you can always adjust it, and it's very individual as well. Nonetheless, when it comes to the application, it's going to stay the same. So you can either apply it with the cotton pads or with your hands. So I'm going to pick now a cotton pad to show you how much you would need to use. So this spans a fair amount so that you can evenly distribute it on the cotton pad, but make sure that it's not dripping wet. It should be slightly damp, so to say. And then you have an amount about that much, which should be more or less enough to cover your entire face and neck. And when swiping it across your face and neck, avoid using it on your eyelids, and depending on the exfoliant that you have picked, as well as the strength of it, like the 7% glycolic acid toning solution, be careful on the eye contour, or to some extent even avoid the eye contour, because it's just too sensitive for that area. So be mindful and always read on the back of the packaging what it states. But nonetheless, when it comes to the application, be gentle. Do not overuse the amount because you're dealing with a treatment, and the more you're going to use, the more likely you can come across sensitivity. This does not only apply to the exfoliant, but with any skincare treatment that you may be using, so that you're making sure that you're going to use enough to cover the entire area, but not overdoing it. So when applying it with your hands, general guide would be use between 7 to 10 drops, more or less. So maybe slightly adjusted depending on the texture, but about a coin size amount. Then rub your hands together, and again apply it evenly all over, avoiding your eyelids and maybe the eye contour as well, and your lips. So, and once you have applied it to the skin, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. I've just worked with a leave-on exfoliant. So once the leave-on exfoliant has fully absorbed into the skin, you then can move on to the next step. Now the next step is going to be my hyaluronic acid serum from Good Molecules. Again, now you do not need to wet your face again. You do not need to mist your face again. This is just nonsense, and it's going to create more troubles. Not only may it feel uncomfortable on the skin, it can cause a skincare pilling and maybe even create more sensitivity. So therefore, just let your toner, your exfoliating acid toner, whatever you may have used, absorb fully into the skin and then move on to the next step. And keep in mind, your treatments always should include some hydrating ingredients as well, so there's no need to add more water to the skin. Then when it comes to the amount of your hyaluronic acid serum, that one you just need a little bit, as you can blend it for quite a long time evenly over your face and neck. So my general guide would be use between 3 to 5 drops. This should be enough. Personally, for me, I like to work with 3 drops. This is just enough to apply it even and thin layer all over. So see how it goes, but please do not use an entire drop of it. Now you can dispense the drops in the palm of your hand, fingertips, or immediately onto your face. Whatever method works the best for you, go ahead and do so. And then blend it all over, making sure not to get it into your eyes nor into your mouth, and be careful to not get it onto your eyelids as well. So, and now you're going to leave it on the skin, do not wash it off. And this can be the last step in your evening skincare routine. You can use the hyaluronic acid serum on its own as well in the morning. Don't forget during daytime to follow with sunscreen, as I'm going to go with an evening skincare routine since I have included exfoliating acid toner. Now the last step, if you like to, this is not necessary. So this primarily depends also on your skin type and the feeling that it gives you. But if you feel like the hyaluronic acid serum is already enough, gives you enough hydration, feels comfortable, well then just stop right here. There's no point in adding a moisturizer on top of it, which may even disappoint you the experience based on that it may feel greasy on the skin, a bit too heavy, or give you maybe a shine that you do not want. So you really have to test and see what works well for the products that you have picked and your skin type. But as an example, if you now want to follow with the moisturizer afterwards, well then use about an pea to a bean size amount of your moisturizer to apply an even and thin layer all over. And I'm going to use Geek & Gorgeous Hydration Station. This is just a great example that I like to use. And when doing the application, again, wait for your hyaluronic acid serum to absorb into the skin before moving on to the next step. So about that much, more or less, can be slightly adjusted, but don't overdo it. And then rub it between your fingers and then apply it evenly and thinly all over. So, and once you're done with the application of your moisturizer, then this is going to be the last step in your evening skincare routine. And there you have it on how you can use Good Molecules hyaluronic acid serum and in what combination it can, for example, work. And so if you enjoyed this video, if you find this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it with your friends. I want to remind you, if you want to go over the entire PowerPoint, it's in the description box down below. But if you now want to learn more about skincare, I'm going to leave some videos at the end of this video, but feel free to check out my YouTube channel for more content. And I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye.